On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. We've got, of course, craziness going on with this guy. He's not liking his new nickname that Trump gave him. I think many of us have called him that before, but apparently Mr. Special K is not real fond of his name. And maybe for those that don't understand the thumbnail, this is a pair of shoes that are on the wrong foot. So, yeah, if the shoe foot fits and it's not fitting because he's retarded, that's what I'm saying. A little too complex sometimes, so I hope you guys got it. That was fun for me, anyways, and we'll see. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Many things going on in the news. Cash Patel was on with Don Jr., kind of talking about the justice that is coming. And I think you guys probably want to hear this, and certainly a great place to start the show. Check it out.
For Russiagate, the ultimate weaponization of our law enforcement in the United States history.
Oh, I know a little bit about it.
Yeah, and you know a little bit about it, and I do too. And we were talking to the guy. Look, we're the ones that uncovered Arctic Frost. In terms of transparency, this FBI has produced 40,000 pages of documents to Congress in 9 to 10 months alone. Let's put that in perspective. My predecessor, Ray, produced 13,000 pages in 7 years, and Comey produced 3,000 pages in 3.5 years. We're committed to transparency, but we're also committed to these investigations. We have ongoing investigations, as you know, of Russiagate and Arctic Frost. And yes, we did indict folks like James Comey and Letitia James. And I know they're going through the legal challenges. But notice one thing that's not happening in those cases. Nobody in there's challenging the substance of the work. They're trying to throw it out on some procedural error. And I don't believe they're going to be successful. We're not done with those cases. Our partners at the Department of Justice are not standing down and bending the knee. You're going to see, in my opinion, more investigative work continue to lead to more prosecutions, because in order to end the weaponization of justice, there has to be full accountability, not just with transparency, but also with people being held to justice in a court of law. And we're going to continue to do that. Look, they built this disease temple over the course of decades. Yeah. And in 10 months, we've already taken a sledgehammer to it. But that doesn't mean we're done. And that doesn't mean we're not doing the work. It just takes a little bit of time to unravel the deep state that they built here. And we're doing it. And the Jan 6 pipe bomber is a piece of it. You're right. But it's not all of it. But I want the American public to know we keep speaking in court when we can. We're going to continue to show up to court. And we're going to continue to make people like Comey and Brennan and Clapper and Page and Strzok and so many others answer for what I believe are their acts of criminal conduct, because that's exactly what they did when they weaponized law enforcement, went overseas, borrowed information from some hack in England about Russia, infiltrated our FISA court, lied to a federal officer, and illegally surveilled your father during a presidential candidacy. You think I'm going to let that go?
Yeah. Well, and senators and congressmen, only Republicans in Arctic Frost. I mean, that's a really big deal. Again, the media is never going to talk about it, but I mean, talk about a threat to democracy.
As much as I absolutely love Don Jr., and I love Don Jr., he is definitely not his father. I mean, he's great. Great in every way, shape, and form. But, man, something about Trump Sr. that just really, really holds true. I don't know what it is. Beautiful. DOJ is a weird case. And I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds on this one, but we're going to give you the skinny on it. DOJ, and I'm really wondering about this, and this is one of those things where I'm reasonably sure that once Pam Bondi finds out about this, I'll be very surprised if DOJ lawyer Nicole Smith still has a job or is still assigned to this. But the DOJ is trying to shut down a Pfizer clinical trial whistleblower after the FDA admits COVID vax killed kids. Now, this was it sounds like a third party, or a third company, if you will, like a separate company. It wasn't the FDA, and it wasn't Pfizer, but it was this testing, and the whistleblower came from this testing facility and said, look, we're burying results. So last week, the Food and Drug Administration's top vaccine regulator told staff that at least 10 children died after and because of COVID-19 vaccinations, and that the agency was preparing to raise the safety hurdles for vaccine approvals. This week, the Department of Justice acted as if this didn't happen. DOJ lawyer Nicole Smith didn't mention the leaked memo from Carter for Biologics Evaluation and research director Vinay Prasad at an appeals court hearing Wednesday on whether to reinstate a False Claims Act against Pfizer and a contractor who ran some of its COVID vaccine trials, arguing nothing would change the Fed's minds about the Pfizer vaccine. Nothing would change the Fed's minds regarding vaccines? There's so much buried information about the vaccines. Nothing's going to change the Fed's minds. Now, obviously, this lady, Nicole Smith, does not speak for the Trump administration. So again, I can't imagine she's going to survive long with this going public, and the fact that they're going to be like, holy crap, really? This is happening? Are you serious? Someone, Nicole Smith, got an immediate phone call. And apparently this isn't done yet. The judge isn't necessarily letting her drop the case. They went to some great lengths to try to prove this, what are they calling it? The False Claims Act. They refer to it as FCA throughout the entire argument. And it's like, what the? Yeah, so False Claims Act, trying to blame the whistleblower. Whistleblowers trying to get discovery, and they're trying to fight that. Yeah, this just doesn't make sense. So again, I'm not blaming Pam Bondi in this. I'm assuming Pam Bondi will do the right thing now that she's aware of it. Because again, you can't be aware of all these things. And then when somebody just pops up and a whack-a-mole, pops up and says something stupid, you're like, really? Where the hell did you come from? Vance is talking about there's definitely a link between mass immigration and housing costs, clear as day, as rents continue declining, at least in most places that are allowing for the feds to remove the extras. But the national median rent for apartments fell 1% in November from October and now stands at $1,367. I mean, there's a lot of people that live in like New York, that live here, San Francisco. I mean, just all sorts of different places in California that's like $1,300. That'd be nice. But again, you kind of get what you pay for here, too, to a degree. Got the best weather in the world, and we don't have the same bugs that most of y'all deal with. We just don't. Or at least we don't have to live in a desert to have no bugs. But yeah, I mean, I've lived in places that had moths that were this big. I was like, good God. It's insane. Tennessee had some giant moths. Apartment rents are down 1.1% from November and have fallen 5.2% from their 2022 peak. This is good stuff. Moving in the right direction. 6 months of zero illegals released into our country. 2 million illegals removed. Rents dropped for the fourth straight month. Coincidence? Yeah, nobody thinks so. Now, Gavin Newsom, he is just screwed. This dude's going to be running for president. He obviously can't run on the whole, look what I've done with California. I can do that to the great nation. What do you mean, bankrupt this great nation? I mean, the deep state would love that. Hence why he's going to be their choice. I don't know if he's going to make it. I have a feeling that he is, I think he is going to be hated so badly. And if we actually do get real elections in California, yeah, they're screwed. They're screwed. So they're going to be fighting this every way possible. But yeah, just 1% of California households pays 50% of the state income tax. That's how it works out here. It's a lot of fun. And if you do really, really well, there's even an additional tax they charge you. The really, really well tax. Basically, it's extra 1% that you get the privilege of paying. So funny how wealthy people say that too. They're like, oh, it's a privilege to pay it. It's like, kind of, but no, it's not, because it's waste. It's not going in anything positive. And why should they get an extra amount of money because I had a good year? Like, that's kind of silly, right? It's just kind of crazy. But the largest population of illegal aliens, that's right here in California. We have the largest number of homeless people. We have the largest number of people fleeing a state. Not the homeless, though. No, they stay right here. We have the largest number, 11 million, and percentage is 27% of foreign-born residents. We actually, I mean, this isn't braggadocious or anything, but it's just the reality of growing up here in California. Certainly LA and stuff, but we've always been like a melting pot of all over the world. Like, I mean, all over the world. Indian, Iranian, Iraqi. Like, there's always been people from all over the place that I bump into all over the place. Obviously not generally in as big a numbers as like native people, but and certainly Hispanics are a super high percentage of the population out here. We have the largest number of people living in poverty, the highest food prices in the continental United States. The state's infrastructure is usually rated near the bottom, and California ranks among the 5 worst states in per capita violent crime. Woohoo! Got to be good at something. We're good at a bunch of stuff. We're good at being the worst. Yeah. We're good at sucking money right out of your pocket. So yeah, so what's Newsom going to run on? Just wanted to pick on Newsom a little bit. Certainly not high-speed rail. 17-year project, $15 billion, not a foot of track laid. Not literally a foot. They've built some bridges and crap, but there's been 0 track laid. Certainly not a $500 million exploding solar battery plant. That didn't work well. Certainly not illegally issuing 17,000 commercial truck drivers' licenses to non-resident illegal aliens with little or no English competency. Certainly not the horrific but preventable Pacific Palisades fire. And certainly not a now closed $2 billion desert solar plant boondoggle. And all these mirrors, and it was like heating up this water thing or liquid. It was like liquid something. It was actually not water. It was like liquid silicon or something weird. Like it could get super hot. And then it was turning turbines. And, well, gee whiz, come to find out it sucked. First off, you've only got like X number of hours a day. What, wintertime, maybe 4 or 5 hours of decent sunlight. And then summertime, certainly a good solid 10. I mean, we get more than that, but good angled light where you can actually utilize it really well. Otherwise, it's kind of too far one way or the other in the horizon to really make use of like solar and stuff like that. Again, this is something I'm learning a lot more about now that I have solar on the house, which is interesting. Wintertime, it's definitely different than summer. That's kind of a trip too. New York City rental market is in crisis as tenants are priced out and rent-stabilized landlords literally are trying to sell. So we've got this huge rush to sell a bunch of properties. Not sure if BlackRock's going to swoop in or what, but if they do, it's a really, really bad investment because these are rent-controlled apartments that people are getting rid of. Literally, one of them. There's an example down here. I hope I can find it. But this apartment was something like 22,000 square feet. It was like 30 units, something to that effect. And they were trying to sell it for the same price as literally like a 3,000 square foot condo or something just up the street. I think I'm close to where it's at. Here it is. Let's see how close my numbers were. Not very, but right now he's marketing a massive 30-unit, 22,200 square foot rent-stabilized property at the edge of Crown Heights for $2.27 million. For contrast, a nearby 3-bedroom condo recently listed for $2.29 million. So a single residence condo being sold for the exact same price as a 30-unit rent-controlled building because it's costing so much for upkeep. It's costing so much just for all of the things that have to go into this, and they can't raise rents as quickly, they're saying. Because, I'll agree with them from the standpoint of, like, construction costs, employment costs, just a lot of those things have gone through the roof. And you can't raise rent to sort of make up for it. Like, appliances have gotten more expensive. Any of the, doing the repair, like changing the carpet out, if you will, in between tenants. All these things cost way more money. And again, I don't have a huge bit of love for landlords. I mean, I've certainly I know a couple people that are land baronesses. At least one good friend of mine actually owns some properties. It's kind of a trip, but yeah, I think she's nice. From what I understand, she's nice to her tenants, but who knows? So yeah, they've got a problem in New York. Long story short, instinctually, CNN they can't help themselves, right? Jake Tapper, this is the new thing with the bomb suspect, the DC pipe bomb suspect. I don't know. You guys might have the same problem everyone's having with this.
Capitol attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction by means of explosion. CNN observed local and federal law enforcement outside his home in Woodbridge, Virginia this morning.
Dude's got one hell of a tan, right? Is it just me? Because it sure does seem like he is a lot darker than what we would typically call white. I think this was the current scene outside his home. Nothing exciting here.
Suspected of planting pipe bombs outside of the RNC and DNC headquarters near the U.S. Capitol complex. It's been nearly 5 years ago that this happened. That's about 35 miles outside of D.C. where they are now. And I want to bring in on the phone Paul Morrow, former NYPD inspector attorney.
Exactly. Apparently his dad owns a bail bonds company. So this dude's got all sorts of connections to bail bondsmen and stuff. I don't know exactly how that matters yet. I mean, I'm sure it would give him unique knowledge of certain things, probably just in the very nature of the way the game's played. But I don't know if that necessarily inherently makes him bad. There is a rumored story that CNN put out from alleged anonymous sources that now Fox is running with the same story, that supposedly he thought the election was stolen back in 2020, so that's why he planted the bombs. This is how they're trying to blame it on us. And literally Fox News ran with the same stupid CNN anonymous source story. I did not bring the story up. I found it, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to call out the fact that it's alleged. It's certainly not true. So you're going to hear people talking about how it's true. It's not. They're going to say it's true because both Fox and CNN reported it. Yeah, they're both reporting the same anonymous source. This is how they do it. This is how they validate themselves. It's stupid. And it's awesome when it's awesome when Fox shows themselves for who they really are. Alleged pipe bombers' family sued Trump DHS over illegal immigration, asked Biden DOJ to address racism. So yeah, this is Brian Cole Jr., the suspect in the 2021 pipe bomb case near DNC and RNC headquarters, worked for his father's immigration bond company, Statewide Bonding, Inc., which sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security over policies that penalized bondsmen for clients' court no-shows. U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Court dismissed all claims against DHS on November 10th, 2020, weeks before the alleged bombings. Statement which would almost have more to do with maybe why they were planted. Statewide helps undocumented immigrants secure releases from detention. In 2021, Cole Sr. accused a Tennessee prosecutor of racial discrimination alongside attorney Benjamin Crump. But a 2025 appeals court upheld sanctions against the firm for misconduct, including undisclosed bankruptcies and tax liens. So these guys have some dirt in their past. I doubt that's how their white skin got so chocolatey. I doubt it. I don't think it's dirt, but needless to say, it is definitely not accurate. So yeah, we've got some dirt coming out about these guys. Just give it a little more time. Tim Walz complains that calling him retarded will lead to violence, which I think is kind of silly, just in general, right? Like, committing violence against retarded people is pretty extraordinarily rare. Like, just even saying mean stuff to their face, which is what people are doing to this guy, is pretty mean, sure. But, like, harming one of them? Man, that's kind of cruel. Dude, no one does that, Tim. You're retarded. Why would we harm you? That's silly. No. But yeah, he's very butthurt about this. Very, very butthurt. And I think it's fantastic. So Waltz is whining about drive-by. That's literally what people are doing. Is he talks about it here. I guess I could play his. I don't know how long this is. Hopefully it's short.
True. This creates danger. And I'll tell you what, in my time on this, I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people. This is shameful. And I have yet to see an elected official, a Republican elected official, say, you're right, that's shameful. He should not say it. So look, I'm worried. We know how these things go.
That's definitely not shameful. People should use it when it's true, when you are in fact retarded. Yeah. I mean, what was it? Forrest Gump's mom says, stupid is as stupid does. Nobody said Forrest Gump was retarded. Just you, Tim. That's all. That's all. I mean, the shoe fits. Which, that could have been him. Who knows? But yeah, we've got Omar suggesting that Trump inciting violence against her now. So they're all playing the typical card. If you come after criminals, you're inciting violence against those criminals. This is awesome. So yeah, I'm sure she's had some threats. There's people in Minnesota that are probably very mad at both of these people. And frankly, rightly so. They have been robbing everybody blind. Well, Pam Bondi was on with Fox News talking about some of the stuff she's got going on in regards to this nonsense.
Attorney General, I want to bring you to this illegal immigrant from Somalia that has now been charged with multiple counts of rape in Minnesota, including a minor. What can you share about this investigation? They have said that this administration is just trying to demonize the Somalian community, but we got a criminal here.
Okay, Lawrence, this guy came into our country in 2015 under Barack Obama. He let him in legally, just like all the Afghanistans he's been letting in. He let him in legally in 2015. He committed a rape of a child, a horrific rape in 2017. Then he committed another rape in 2024. He's arrested in state court, lives in the Minneapolis area the entire time. Last name Muhammad, he's 28 years old. He's convicted in state court of both rapes. They let him walk out the door on probation. Double rapist. Pled to him, walked out the door. Then, under our administration, he commits a new rape. He is arrested. He is in federal custody. We are going back in time now, charging him again with kidnapping and the rape of the 2017 case. And I can tell you there are more charges to come. And again, this is good police work. They took his DNA, ran his DNA through databases for all these unsolved rapes. So let's wait and see how many charges come after that. That should frighten everyone in this country, Ainsley.
Yes. I mean, this is disgusting, raping a minor. And I'm reading on this information, victim 1, victim 2, victim 3, a little girl. How were y'all able to get him, you said, under with federal charges? Because the state court, you said, let him walk out the door.
Yeah. So we have concurrent jurisdiction in many places, and that's such a blessing now that we're finding out that all of these criminals around the country were not properly prosecuted by liberal state courts. So we were able to charge him federally with a new case. And now his DNA is being run through databases throughout our country. So, again, he's innocent until proven guilty of the new one. But he had entered pleas on the last one. The last two, one involved a 15-year-old girl. The second one, he held a woman in a hotel room for days and days and days and raped her repeatedly. Disgusting.
I mean, this is obviously abhorrent. This is why we have to find out what's going on with legal immigration in our country. But it's not the only problem in Minneapolis. The financial abuse of the system to the tune of $1 billion. How aggressive is your department in pursuing this? I know Treasury's on this, but you have members of Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's inner circle profiting millions upon millions of dollars. A restaurant where she had events, that guy pretending to serve 18,000 meals when his restaurant only has 35 tables. What are you guys doing to investigate how bad this is? And how could an attorney general and a governor let this happen?
Brian, it's unbelievable what they were doing with all of these people and the crimes that had been committed for so very long. We have a very active investigation. Treasury has an active investigation. You are going to see many more arrests to come on that. And not only that, look at what's happened with all the people here from Afghanistan.
So, Attorney General, what's the latest on this poor guy, the National Guardsman, Andy Wolf? We know he was in critical condition. Sarah Beckstrom was killed by this Afghanistan man, and she died. She was 20 years old. But I know that you've been in contact with the family. We were told he did a thumbs up to the nurse and his toes were wiggling.
Yes, Ainsley, and we're a praying country. Please continue to pray for Andy. I saw Andy. I've met with his mom. I talk to his mom constantly. Melody, his dad, Jason. He has a sister, a brother, an 8-month-old niece. They're all in the hospital with him. And he is, Ainsley, he's a miracle. From day one, his mother, Melody, said, my son is going to live. My son is going to be 100%. And I can say this because the parents let me. I was there when the doctors all came in the room after they had done an angiogram. He has no blood clots. He's a miracle. And now he's able to open both eyes, severe injuries, but we are all continuing to pray that he's got a long road ahead of him, but we are praying that he makes a full recovery. And this was someone that the Biden administration, the monster, let into our country, let him walk into this country with little or no vetting, just like all these Somalis that Obama did, who are committing crimes throughout our country. And under Donald Trump, it's going to stop. We're going to find them, we're going to prosecute them, and they will be deported as well.
Frozen immigration from 20 countries, including Somalia.
And Madam Attorney General, I know you got to go and you can't comment on this, but there is a report about a volunteer that put out there about the National Guard shooting suspect. They said this in the email. The email plea was urgent and direct and said that he needs help. He was enshrined in writings by a volunteer helping to give him a fresh start in America who had become convinced he was unraveling. So there were people that knew about it. I'm sure you'll find out more in your investigation. Thank you so much for joining Fox and Fringe.
Thank you.
You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah, it's just the fact that they're trying to ask for kindness towards this individual that shot two people. Again, this is just the thinking difference that's occurring between the two sides right now. Now, you can call it Democrat, Republican, but I don't really think that's appropriate anymore because there's a lot of people that aren't Republicans that are on our side of the fence. There's people that are pro-Constitution, pro-First Amendment, pro our rights. And then there's a group of people that believes that they should be able to dictate what other people can do, can say, can be, can spend money on. They want to control people's lives. And there's those that are pretty much like, don't step on me, I won't step on you. You know what I mean? Or, that with the rattlesnake post, right? Don't tread on me. We're cool otherwise. Do what you want inside your own house. Don't make it my problem. Don't let me be a part of it. I don't even want to see it, right? You want to do freaky stuff and put on girls' clothing and, dance around and pretend you're another girl or, different sex? Have at it, man. I don't care. Just don't be doing that stuff in front of my kids. That's all. That's all I'm asking, just out of respect. Kids don't need to see that. I don't want to have to explain it because, frankly, I don't understand it. Why should I have to explain some weirdo? I'm weird enough myself, right? I can't imagine someone trying to have to explain me, like my poor parents. As much as that's kind of a sore subject in the family right now. But needless to say, an embarrassment. This was posted by Trump. Absolutely bonkers story about Somalian immigrant communities in Minnesota over diagnosing their own kids with autism so they can funnel billions of Medicaid dollars back to terrorist cells in Somalia. So this press release announcing the indictments, the U.S. Attorney's Office made clear that the alleged autism fraud scheme extended to a wide network of people. To drive up enrollment, Hassan and her partners paid monthly cash kickback payments to the parents of children who enrolled, the release reads. These kickback payments ranged from approximately $300 to $1,500 per month per child. The amount of these payments was contingent on the services DHS authorized a child to receive. The higher the authorization amount, the higher the kickback. Often parents threatened to leave and take their children to other autism centers if they did not get paid higher kickbacks. Much like with the HSS program, autism claims to Medicaid in Minnesota have skyrocketed. We covered this in the past, but the numbers are staggering, so let's say them again. So they went from $3 million in 2018 to $54 million in 2019, $77 million in 2020, $183 million 2021, $279 million in 2022, and $399 million in 2023. Meantime, the number of autism providers in the state spiked from 41 to 328 over the same period, with many in the Somali community establishing their own autism treatment centers, citing the need for culturally appropriate programming. By the time the fraud scheme was exposed, 1 in 16 Somali 4-year-olds in the state had repeatedly been diagnosed with autism, a rate more than triple the state average. I'm surprised it's only 1 in 16. That actually surprises me, frankly. This is what they've been doing, guys. This is out of control. Grand jury refuses to re-indict Letitz James in a mortgage fraud case, so they might just have to go down the appeal process with this particular one. We'll see. We'll see. We got bigger fish to fry, really. That was just more of would have been nice to have. Here's FBI Director Kash Patel talking. Him and even Bongino got to do some rounds, so it's kind of cool. Apparently they're trying to make sure they're selling all the stuff they're doing right now. Obviously, that's very important because Trump's got them on this right now, and there's a reason for that. So, of course, I want to kind of help with them spreading the word, I guess. But here's him explaining that they have been providing what they can do to the public with these massive ongoing investigations are taking place. Like, they can talk about some stuff, but they can't always talk about everything. But he says we're trying to be as transparent as we can and open about it all. Anyway, here's some of this.
Before we let you go, you've talked about Arctic frost and all of these extraordinary documents. You're putting out so much evidence. Every day we can go through and find a new storyline, and it's remarkable. Where do you think the Arctic frost story ends up? When you're all done with your investigation, are there people inside the FBI who end up either arrested or charged or punished in some way?
Well, accountability comes in multiple forms. Transparency through Congress.
Right.
You guys are tremendous at reporting on that. We've issued 40,000 pages to Congress this year alone.
Amazing.
Comey did 3,000 in 3 years. Wray did 13,000 in 7 years. So we are committed to transparency. But what's unique about this FBI is we are running investigations while providing what we can. So on the Arctic Frost front, we discovered that at this FBI that they were unlawfully surveilling senators and guys like me and weaponizing government. So this pipe bomb investigation should show the American public that we, while providing information on the pipe bomb over the last 8 years, and protecting the integrity of our investigation gets us to the end point we want, accountability and transparency. It takes a little time to break down the diseased temple that they built here in Washington for decades, but I harp on the fact that this investigation should show the world how we are going to operate in every single investigation. Arctic Frost specifically, we have a huge investigation going. That is public, I can say that. And it's going to take a little more time to peel it back, but no, I'm not going to let people get off the hook or get a hall pass. I don't care what position you held in the FBI, you're going to be held accountable. And this DOJ is assuredly backing us.
Hell yeah. So yeah, we are. He's making. I mean, he's making the efforts, and I think for any of the people that try to make it sound like this can be done quickly, just don't get it, and don't appreciate, and don't give credit. I don't think either to the work that is being accomplished. Here's Dan Bongino saying he was horrified after reading some of the Crossfire Hurricane documents. Yeah, this dude's like. Again, I hope he never almost quit. I hope that was a bullshit story. I really do. There was never any confirmation. He never really responded to it, which makes me think it was real, actually. But again, I'm grateful that Bongino stuck it through. He took a huge pay cut, guys. I'm going to call that out. Took a huge pay cut. This guy probably went from making 7 figures, probably 7 figures a year to what, 300 grand, 200 grand, right? Like, I mean, he's doing this for the country. So again, I've always tried to be fair to him, but he is a little hot-headed sometimes, and I know it bugs him not being in the middle of it all. So I'm glad that because of the way things are playing out, he's even got to spend some time in front of the camera, which again, they're trying to bring up a lot of noise and attention. Why is that? Why right now? Again, we have an attention span of a flea. Why right now? Why are they bringing attention to this now? And I assume it's because within a matter of days, something's going to break. And this is, I think, to a degree, preparing us for it. It's my hunch. We'll see.
No, I mean, I never really told this story before, but I was sitting in the office on a Friday night. It was very late. You know, one of us is always a late and early guy, me or our director Patel. So it was, I don't know, it was 7 o'clock or so. And there was no one around. It was a Friday, and I was just reading some of the Crossfire stuff that, you know, we had seen. And I got to tell you, I was just horrified. I don't know, it's just stuck in my crutch stuff. And I've written books on this. I'm pretty well versed in what happened in multiple books on this. But when you see it from the other side, it was just different. I mean, what these people in prior administrations did to this country, Sean, to, you know, decimate, destroy faith in these institutions. And I just hesitate to think of where we would be right now with a different president in charge. I really do. I don't.
We know
we may not
be.
have a republic.
We know the answer.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
I mean, that's why, and that's why that next day I woke up and I just, you know, I probably should have, but it was just I couldn't get it out of my head. And what they did to just destroy this beautiful place we call home. And Cash and I were absolutely committed to this reforming this place and getting faith in these institutions back. I can tell you right now, you played that clip of him before. Director Patel has changed out the entire leadership team. Some of the people we have in charge right now, I swear to you, these are absolute manhunters. They've locked up 30,000 violent criminals. The murder rate has cratered so low, and we're not done. I told the guys, there's some headline in New York Post today. It's going to be crimes at an all-time low in New York. I said, it's not good enough. I said, back again. We're going again. We're doing another roundup. And then when we're done with that, we're doing another one. I said, you know what the acceptable crime rate is? 0. That's the acceptable crime rate. And this president could not be more supportive. I'm telling you, go get him, boys. He says it all the time. And he means it. Wow. He drives around these. What do you think he's doing this for? You think he's doing it to get reelected? You think he's doing it for politics? These are blue cities. He hates crime. He can't. It drives him crazy, and he wants it solved. And if Cash and I are committed to doing it.
Good on him. And it does seem like he was kind of speaking to the rumors when he got all butthurt and came out, because that was the one thing that was kind of tough. It was like, and and I'll say it, like I've done plenty of things, especially publicly, that that I probably, in hindsight, would rather not have done. You know, like sometimes you fucking just fall on the words you've used, you know, and it is what it is. So good on him, without making too much of it. He actually covered that well, I think. Bondi is ordering a ramping up of investigations into Antifa and other extreme groups, extremist groups that are out there. I don't need to play this 45-second thing. But I do want to talk about this awesome product, though. They call it Feel Great, and that's exactly what's going to happen. If you're overweight, for sure, you're going to want to check this out. But if you're definitely someone that's diabetic, this is actually changing people's lives. It's certainly changing A1C numbers, literally. And all you do is you just drink. The powder's good. I get the Unimate, the lemon. It's good. It's actually, like I've said before, they've got a whole bunch of flavors, so you can go for it and do whatever you want. You might find something that's even better, but this to me tastes like that Crystal Light iced tea with lemon. It's just what it tastes like. It's lemon flavored, and then it's kind of the powder's brown, and you stir it in. It sort of makes the water kind of brownish, but when I drink it, like I said, it tastes like tea. It tastes like a yerba mate tea with lemon, and it just reminds me of that Crystal Light stuff. It's delicious, but it helps with cravings, and it helps kind of regulate. And then they've got this balance, which helps with your appetite. It helps you properly digest carbohydrates. We've got this insulin resistance problem in this country, and a lot of that has to do with the way we've eaten or been fed. Some of the fake chemical ingredients that we have that certainly do things, but it doesn't get the body to respond properly because they're like fake sugars, but it's still kind of a sugar. Anyways, there's some very strange issues that we've created within our bodies. Insulin resistance is one of them, and it's actually what most, I think they say 90% of the diabetes cases out there are tied to insulin resistance. Most of the pre-diabetes, post-diabetes, like the whole 9 yards, and different even phases of it, is being helped. When we teach our bodies how to properly metastasize, if you will, carbohydrates, and we don't get that insulin resistance anymore, you'll actually notice when you go to see your doctor and they test your numbers, you're going to notice that they're going to be changing some of your prescriptions. Or when you're monitoring, you're going to notice that your blood sugar levels are actually staying in better places for longer, and you're able to do the fasting healthily without screwing up your blood sugar. And you're going to notice that you're able to start losing weight, and you're able to start doing a lot of things. It's because of this insulin resistance. And then the balance, again, if you're someone that's heavier on the diabetes or heavier on the heavy side, balance really helps kind of replace meals. The other one kind of gives you energy and allows you to fast a little longer. So it's kind of up to you. You can either do 2 boxes of the balance, which is, again, helps you with the way you process foods, kind of helps you feel a little more full so you're not eating as much. The other one, which is called Unimate, even though it should be Unimate in my opinion, it's more in line with, again, cravings, urges, energy. It just kind of helps you extend your fasting a little bit longer. And generally, you fast from when you stop eating at night, right, until the next morning. And the longer you can expand that, the more fat you burn. And the longer you stay in ketosis, essentially, the more fat you burn. So again, there's a lot of games we play. You got to learn your own body, but the insulin resistance is a key. And when you start getting your body to properly process, which this stuff helps you do for a low price too, it's kind of funny, it helps you get those numbers back in line. You're going to see the results. I'm telling you, this is an amazing stuff. So you want to go to otfspecial.com. That's otfspecial.com. I want to play this quick video, 1 minute, and it'll tell you a lot about what's going on and why. And stuff's awesome. Check it out.
If you're constantly battling low energy, cravings, weight control, watching your health slip away, listen up. There's a simple daily protocol they don't want you to know about that's helping people ditch their meds and reclaim their health. Up to 88% of Americans potentially suffer from some degree of insulin resistance. The Feel Great protocol is a simple 2-step daily system designed to help your body work with you, not against you. Step 1. Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract clinically shown to boost mood, increase mental clarity, and support fat burning. Step 2. A patented fiber matrix called Balance. Taken before meals, it helps regulate blood sugar, curb cravings, and support healthy insulin response. That's it. No crazy diets, no meds, just science-backed support your body actually understands. Feel Great is perfect for you if you have low energy, weight control, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep, diabetes, snacking, sugar cravings, gut health, systemic inflammation. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great protocol.
And stuff works awesome. People are raving about it. People are raving about it. So again, otfspecial.com. You just put a packet in water. It's delicious. It really is. I mean, it's not just, and you're drinking more water, so that's a win-win. Again, it's a very easy thing to do. And again, for me, I just stir it. It takes, I don't know, about 30 seconds of stirring, maybe 20. I don't know. It eventually really does dissolve in there good enough, and then I just glug it down. I mean, I don't sit there and and it's good. Like I said, I enjoy the taste. It's actually not something like the Nutrafol. My God, for the hair, these things. Oh Lord, I hate taking them. They smell, they're disgusting. There's something weird in those pills, and this stuff, love it. I look forward to it. By the way, Stem Active, don't mind at all. I never ever mind doing those ones either. Right? There's just the Nutrafol's nasty. Ugh. Anyway. I got to work on it. It's just like for hair. I'm like, I guess if it's got to be uncomfortable so I can somehow, that uncomfort will push hair out of my freaking scalp. Who knows? I don't know how it works. Well, not sure if it does, frankly. They say it takes weeks. I got to tolerate this shit forever. Ugh. Anyway, at least get to the good stuff. It's going to help you lose weight and doesn't taste like crap. That stuff's awesome. OTFspecial.com, OTFspecial.com. They've got a 5-minute video that really explains it. If you're in the diabetic range, I'd highly recommend investing 5 minutes, even if you want to speed up it. But you're all sorts of people talking about the huge weight loss they've done. Huge. And again, it's just you put it in it's offering you healthiness. It's offering you stuff that your body needs. And there's something about that yerba mate or whatever that thing is, man. It's just something magical about it or whatever. I don't know, but it's a great product. Anyway, I'll shut up. OTFspecial.com, OTFspecial.com. I really don't hide when I like something, do I? I'm enjoying it. It's, I'm digging it. It allows me to stay in ketosis longer, which I'm very much enjoying. And it makes a difference, actually. I've been playing around. I don't want to get into it. Anyway, DOJ is investigating this college for spending taxpayer money on illegal immigrants and punishing whistleblowers. It's some crap college in Illinois, isn't it? The DuPage in Illinois. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. DuPage. Anyway, some college at DuPage, whatever that shizzle. Yeah. Anyway, they're getting investigated. They're doing some specific money for people that are not white and stuff like that, which is illegal. You're not allowed to do that. Supreme Court upholds the case for the Texas redistricting. That's been approved. They are good. So 5 more seats will be going to Congress. I actually think it's creating 5 seats, I believe, on top of the fact that they're going to be Republican specifically. I'm not sure. I think that's adding seats, I believe. California, I don't believe is taking seats away, but I do think it's going to maybe swap 5 seats. So this is going to be almost a trade out. I think ultimately the adding seats and then pulling 5 is going to hurt less. We've also got some potential redistricting, I think, in Indiana. And there was a couple others that I am just not remembering at the moment. That said, Jasmine Crockett, she's being booted out of her current district. She's being booted because of the redistricting. Our girl, Crockett and Tubbs. Well, she's getting fat, it seems, so I don't know. Maybe Tubbs is too soon. You think, guys? You think I was insane? Yeah, sweetheart, Crockett, you should get on some of the Unamate and the balance. To help you out. You've potentially got snacking problems, I would say. Supreme Court agrees to decide if Trump may end birthright citizenship. By the way, she was talking about running for Senate or something in the Texas. There's no damn way. No damn way. Supreme Court agrees to decide if Trump may end birthright citizenship. This is going to be a big deal. That's going to be a big deal. This one, I don't know. I'm a little nervous about this one. Kind of nervous. I don't know. This will be one. I might try to go live with this one, maybe, whenever it happens. Hopefully I can get a heads up on it. But oftentimes I find them as they're happening. It's like it's already an hour in, and I'm like, crap. Then I hop in and I'll listen to the rest of it. So a lot of them I can't roll it back depending on where I'm watching it. Needless to say, I'll get better at trying to do that. Supreme Court agreed this though, so we're going to move in that direction. Appeals Court upholds Trump's National Guard deployment in D.C. Basically said, they can stay there until we work through all the nonsense. Instead of the district judge, it's like, they got to go come December 20th or whatever it was, the 11th, I guess is when the decision had to be made. and it's been made. And yeah, they held the district court like Trump's allowed to have National Guard there for the meantime. Boston judge, again, intervenes to force payments to Planned Parenthood. I love this. District Court Judge Indira Talwani. You guys got to remember that name. She's, of course, in Boston. She's been a big pain, especially when it's come to the Planned Parenthood, which, by the way, guys, just the fact that she keeps getting Planned Parenthood cases, and these are supposed to be randomly chosen judges, like, I feel like that should be called out from some form of, like, people that have clout, to say when they say it matters, like Supreme Court's like, wow, that's weird that she keeps getting all the Planned Parenthood cases. How's your guys' random thing work there? Because there's obviously only so many of these district judges that will break the law or the Constitution and will judge or do their, what do they call it, the feelings from the bench, or I forget the terms they use. Like, it's what Jumanji always talks about, how she feels like they're supposed to be changing social behaviors from the bench via the law, which is such a, again, it's just a different way of thinking. Controlling individuals and what they can say and do and think, how they can spend their money. They want to control that versus people that don't, that want free markets, that want freedom, even if you are like Walls. I mean, maybe dumb's mean, but certainly retarded. So again, she's trying to force payments to Planned Parenthood from the Medicaid funds. This will be appealed. It's not even close to legal, please. That chick should be like, I'm like a lot of you guys, like, why are these people still there? And I'm assuming, again, it's just like I'm assuming, because I'm like, how many more of these do we need? I don't know, because we're going to see a pattern, right? We're going to see as we get down this path, and I assume I don't know how many more months of this we can go before it starts to become slightly problematic, but that we're going to see the same judges. Now, Boasberg, he might have just gotten taken out of the loop. He might have made a mistake. And I think that was why he's trying to force through some last-minute stuff. But I think Boasberg might have actually been taken out. Not in a like his life kind of way, but from judicial stuff kind of way. So we'll see what's going on with her. But again, this is what, Congress? Like, I don't know, Jim Jordan, like, I'm just surprised nobody's done anything yet on this one. It's blowing my mind. Obamacare anxiety rising among House GOP centrists. There's a lot of people in Congress right now that get money from the insurance companies. Now, I'm going to say there's some people, and many people maybe in my audience, that are unhealthy. There's one individual in particular that, he was talking about, and I'm going to try to be as careful with this as I can. I'm not trying to offend anybody, right? And I think he's speaking for many of you guys. He's like, I don't think it's fair for somebody like you, Dan, who's healthy, to get, say, as much money as someone like me who's got diabetes and some other stuff going on. And like, on the face of that argument, I would say, well, yeah, I mean, I guess that would make sense. But then there is the other side of it. It's like, I've chosen to try to be healthier in my life. I've chosen not to do certain things that would have led to diabetes and all the health causes that come from that. So there is this weird sense of, like, how much do you reward people for their continued bad behavior? And again, I don't want to force people to do what they should do, but at the same time, I can't just offer you deep pockets and then you continue to eat Funyuns or whatever. Like, again, I'm not trying to pick on anyone, but it's like, it's that weird fine line, right? It's a tough place that society we've got to kind of come to grips with. And personally, I think our health is really our responsibility. And I prove that with the advertising I do. I prove that with everything. Like, I mean, I truly live that way, and I'm going to die someday, and I get to go back home. I'm not worried about it. I don't freak out about it like a lot of people do. I'm not scared of death. I mean, I don't like long for the moment or anything stupid like that, but it doesn't scare me. I get to go home. God's going to call me home when I get to go home. It's fine. It's groovy. It's all good. It's one thing we're all going to do, 100%. And, some of us seem to keep coming back like a bad penny. So anyways, yes, people freaking out about the fact that nobody's really getting anything accomplished before the end of the year. Now, The open enrollment's already begun. I think it began in November, and so it's probably for the most part done since we're in December now. So it doesn't matter. I think, again, there's a stall going on. I think maybe some of the FBI stuff, maybe it's kind of hit me, but maybe is a bit of a filler, maybe a distraction even from the fact that this is about to expire, and it needs to. And then we're going to have the government shut down again, I think, in January. And this will be the argument that we have to give taxpayer money to pay for all the insurance companies, straight to the insurance companies. And I think what's happening in back rooms right now, to what I understand anyways, is they're working on the fix to what Obamacare ruined. And so that'll happen, like, again, money directly to some sort of EBT card. And you're allotted what you're allotted based off of whatever the normal things would be, right? And so, again, there's probably certain levels of insurance that you could buy. Again, we'll see how it plays out. It's not a simple fix by any stretch. And there's always going to be pissed off people on both sides of the fence. But for the most part, the 80-20 rule, most people will probably benefit greatly from this. And it will probably help families, and it will help bring costs down and help make things more competitive. And ultimately, it will be better in the big picture. It might suck for some people in some situations, unfortunately. And that's just how it's going to be. You can't legislate based off of the extremes. And that's the mistakes we've been making in this country all along. You can't. You can't let the extremes drive you. You've got to go with where most of the people are and benefit as many people as possible, because it's become extraordinarily expensive. And we're destroying our country in the process, and relationships amongst people, for that matter, too. Donald Trump trooped this out. The Democrats' number one policy push is the complete and total obliteration of our great United States Supreme Court. They will do this on their very first day in office through the simple termination of the filibuster should they win the upcoming elections. The radical left Democrats are looking at 21 justices with immediate ascension. This would be terrible for our country. Fear not, however, Republicans will not let it or any of their other catastrophic policies happen. Our country is now in very good hands. MAGA. Now, he does problem solution. He does fear, but have no fear. So Trump is doing a very strange thing in this particular post, in my mind. Whatever the case is, this is my concern, what's going to come up with these elections. So I'm assuming he's maybe feeding that fear a little bit. I think he's waiting on the EO because of timing reasons. If he does it too soon, the way they're going to handle it with lawsuits will suck. So he'll have certain states that won't do what they're supposed to. So again, this is going to be very interesting, and I'm sure that they are going over this this is like double and triple and quadruple checking this from a legal standpoint. They're like, come on. They're probably been debating this thing in closed doors, like this group of like phenomenal lawyers getting paid huge amounts of money, most likely, literally just debating this from every angle they can. I'm sure it wouldn't surprise me if like someone like Dershowitz is in that room, right? Hitting it from every different angle possible. Every angle. They've probably got like like sticky notes all over the damn place. Probably looks like a scrum on a major project. If any of you guys have ever been through those kind of meetings where you anyway, whatever. That powerful stuff going on, guys. Senate GOP files to bulk confirm 97 nominations all at once. I'm surprised and I'm happy. Thank you, Thune. Thank you, because you were bumming me out a lot. So getting these 97 people through would be fantastic. I hope some of these are those attorney generals or whatever they call them, U.S. whatever Lena Haba. I was talking to a dude this morning. I'm like, whatever the hell her title was, I don't know what the hell she does. I don't know what her job is. I mean, I know what she kind of does, but I don't. No idea. She's not an attorney general. I know it's whatever she is. I hope they get some of them in because we need those approved through Senate, to my understanding. ICE arrests another Afghan national accused of supporting ISIS. Another guy. He was arrested by immigration, ICE, essentially. Safi is an illegal alien terrorist who entered the U.S. on September 8th, 2021 in Philadelphia under President Joe Biden. These are people that literally we see there's ties through intelligence, and literally they're going through the regular courts, and basically the courts are like, well, let's see this evidence. It's like, I can't show you that. It's classified. You're definitely not read in on it. Well, I'm a judge. Yeah, I don't care what you are. You can't see it. You're not allowed. We've got proof. Yeah, he's definitely, you're going to have to take our word for it. I'm an expert. And the judges just don't like that. And they want it. They want to leak it. They want to give up sources. Like, again, and this is an attack in so many different ways. It's hard. I mean, I mean, it's going to sound weird, but I kind of appreciate the complexity of it. I appreciate how our foe is. Our foe is very, very good, and our attack against them is better. In fact, in the way we're doing our ripples, we're actually, I think, even helping even bigger. So that's kind of cool. AT&T, they're pledging to eliminate DEI policies after pressure from Brandon Carr's FCC. Basically says, dude, look, here's the thing. We're not gonna approve your guys' FCC permits anymore. Period. Just send a story. If you're going to continue to do stuff that's absolutely racist, you've got all these different. You're discriminating against white men. That's illegal. AT&T's got these companies. This DEI stuff. They have nowhere to hide because DEI it's racist. Just in its entire thing is about punishing white people. So it's racist to intentionally give somebody a promotion because they fall outside of the white person category, mainly white male, but still white people. Elon has been sued, or well, X has been sued by the EU. This article's crazy. They talk about how like the EU could have sued SpaceX also and some of these other companies based off his total net worth. And it's like, but you can just randomly decide there's some American company you decide is Europe, you want to sue them because they're not doing what you think they're supposed to do when they're an American company with an American product speaking the truth. This is out of control. I don't know how this works when they pay. I know Meta and Apple both got sued by the EU for the same kind of stuff. So we've got Europe suing huge American companies trying to get money because they're broke. And I'm curious what Trump's going to do. Now, J.D. Vance put this out. Rumors swirling that the EU Commission will fine X hundreds of millions of dollars for not engaging in censorship. The EU should be supporting free speech, not attacking American companies over garbage. Well, this national security strategy came out. John Harold shared this. It's pretty good stuff. What we hear in there is our elites badly miscalculated America's willingness to shoulder forever global burdens to which the American people saw no connection to their national interest. And they lashed American policy to a network of international institutions, some of which are driven by outright anti-Americanism, and many by a transnationalism that explicitly seeks to dissolve individual state sovereignty. First and foremost, we want the continued survival and safety of the United States as an independent, sovereign republic whose government secures the God-given natural rights of its citizens and prioritizes their well-being and interests. We want to protect this country, its people, its territory, its economy, and its way of life from military attack and hostile foreign influence, whether espionage, predatory trade practices, drug and human trafficking, destructive propaganda and influence operations, cultural subversion, or any other threat to our nation. We want to maintain the United States' unrivaled soft power through which we exercise positive influence throughout the world that furthers our interests. The United States will unapologetically protect our own sovereignty. This includes preventing its erosion by transnational and international organizations, attempts by foreign powers or entities to censor our discourse or curtail our citizens' free speech rights, lobbying and influence operations that seek to steer our policies or involve us in foreign conflicts, and the cynical manipulation of our immigration system to build up voting blocs loyal to foreign interests within our country. The United States will chart our own course in the world and determine our own destiny, free of outside interference. Powerful stuff from the White House, the whitehouse.gov. So that was, huge. Fed's favorite inflation indicator continues to show no runaway tariff costs. I mean, literally, everything they've been claiming is not happening at all. The numbers continue to show. I mean, they're up, down, but they're staying within this range. They are a little high right now, but I mean, it's roughly what it was last year this time. So we're making progress. Numbers are all moving in the right directions, frankly. And tariffs do not seem to be impacting prices yet, at least. I mean, that's what most people would say, but Trump's been doing it and everything's staying steady. So it just seems like what he's doing is, in fact, working. I'm going to be curious to see. Crypto was down a little bit. It's been a lot jumpy lately. I don't know if this is, I can't trust this to update. Sometimes it takes forever. Sometimes you never know. So yeah, gold's down a little now, it looks like. So gold and silver, let's see what's going on. Silver was up a bunch today. Still seems to be. Silver's up about $1.42. And that's pretty big. Gold's down $8, which is minuscule in the gold world, right? Crypto, let's see what's going on. Okay, Bitcoin has recovered a little bit from what I was looking at earlier, but they're down. They were down a good chunk. Everything's down, frankly. XRP's barely over $2. Whatever, we'll see. A lot of crazy going on, guys. If you are in a 401k or an IRA, get out of the Federal Reserve note. It is losing value second by second. That's when the prices of gold going up is the value of dollar going down. Silver's got a multiplier baked into it, and the expectations is over the next many months, silver is probably going to double yet again from where we are right now, almost easily. In fact, many are saying much higher than that, really almost tripling. Silver's going to go up. There's a lot of need for it in an industry standpoint, and there's coming a shortage, which is going to drive the price up. There's also an issue with the paper contracts, and when those start to fail and fall apart, that's going to create a scarcity as well. Physical precious metals right now are gold. Well, silver's exceptional. So get your hands on as much of that from the stupid Federal Reserve notes that you've got that you're losing value every day. Get as many of those right now that will lock in your buying power. It literally will lock in your buying power. And if you can get a bunch of silver, it causes more storage. So there's factors because, a little bit is right. This the difference right here. These are both 1 ounce coins. Okay, these are both 1 ounce coins. They both the same size, same weight. This is worth $4,200. This is worth 50 something, right? $60. 60, 4,200. How many of these do I need just to get to 4,200, right? So it's a storage of wealth, but silver's got a lot of growth baked into it, multipliers because of the problems we've got. Don't get stuck in that system because it's going to pop at some point. Whether it's a slow drool or a quick pop, we don't know. Take as much of your buying power with you while you can. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Move it sideways. Get as much of it out, tax-free, penalty-free. All that money was put in there pre-tax. It helped your tax bracket. If you have it given to you in any way, shape, or form, that is payment. You get taxed hard and penalized typically depending on your age. Go sideways with it. It goes into a trust. It's physical metals. That's your metals. You literally can have them send you those metals. They're yours. But you're going to get as much of your money moved over as possible. There's all sorts of parts to this. And so, again, it is what it is. Get as much of that 401k IRA money over, tax-free, penalty-free. You're going to get up to 10% free silver from Goldco. They're going to give you 10% free silver. That's huge. Multiplier baked in. That's like it's worth its weight in gold. I can't be using the same analogy. You're also going to get a collectible coin if you can call them within 20 minutes after you put the data in. It's not like when you go to the site, you've got 20 minutes. It's when you put in your 4 data points and hit, yes, send me my free gold and silver playbook. It'll pop up a thing, call this number in 20 minutes, and you get a free coin. I think it'll probably show you on there, but you get that Ronald Reagan coin and some other goodies probably. It's just cool. Makes it easier, and it gets the ball rolling for you. It can take up 5, 6, 7 days. And it can take up a couple, 3 weeks, depending on you, really. But they make it as easy as possible. They're going to answer all your questions for you, and they're an awesome company. I love Gold Code. They've been good to me. They've helped so many of my listeners. So many of you guys have had the privilege of protecting your wealth. And I hear from a lot of them, they're stoked, especially the ones that got out 2-3 years ago. They're super stoked because gold in many cases has more than doubled. And silver's just skyrocketing right now. So again, a lot of people are very blessed. You still got plenty of time to protect yourself and get in on the silver extravaganza. Check it out. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. One more time, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that system while you can. That's going to be the key, because at some point we're going to go to a new currency, and it's going to be backed by precious metals. But at what point, at what Federal Reserve blunder, how far has it eaten into your buying power before you're able to finally convert? Right? The government's going to offer you, many pennies on the dollar. If you get out on your own, you're going to take way more with you than anything the government's going to offer you down the road. drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that crazy system before they get out of you. CDC panel drops hepatitis B shot recommendation for children, which is awesome, right? It's basically what, drug users and sexually transmitted disease, so that you should always give infants that, because you know how promiscuous infants are, little horny bastards. Of course. UK, they dominate the most damaging tax havens. Look at that. Or dominate, sorry. Good for you, England. You guys are falling apart, but hey, you guys are the place to hide money. British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Bermuda, and then I don't know where Jersey is, but that's supposedly the British Crown dependency. And I don't think, maybe these are formers, the gray ones. I know Hong Kong would be, but I don't know about the others. I'm not that savvy. In Switzerland. That's what the Rothschilds, I think, is kind of, that's their neck of the woods, the banking. We've got the oil tycoons, the Rockefellers, I think, right? Isn't that who we got here? Frankly, a very authoritarian government. Yeah. Labour-led Britain literally suspended their elections again, and they announced the rollout of a China-style facial recognition cameras. When the left gets in charge, this is what they do. They want control. There's proof everywhere. Everywhere you've got any sort of left-leaning socialist or worse, at least, admitting to it, like communism's even worse, but any socialist or more governments are all controlling and spying and overtaxing their citizens. Again, it's my buddy tells me in England, he's like, they're having their Joe Biden moment right now. So hopefully when Farage gets in, he can start to turn things around. But now they're saying they're not going to have an election, right? Because Farage will win. And so they've got to figure out what they're going to do. They can't give up power. Emmanuel Macron, same problem. They can't give up power because they won't get it back. They're woefully hated. Any of their positions right now are woefully hated. Benjamin Netanyahu, I'm going to give him his chance to talk, but he wants to talk about what this whole thing that he's being accused of. I assume he's being accurate. I heard of the cigars. He kind of waits to get to that, which to me was the worst. Come to find out, seems to be the worst of the free stuff that he's gotten. So I think this is worth his time. Again, they're not really good at playing the optics or playing to the people, and they constantly lose that battle. But whatever, we'll see what you guys think. This is Netanyahu's words on the charges against him and what he's trying to essentially get out of.
I want to share something with you. Yesterday I do a broadcast. The interviewer says to me, Prime Minister, could you tell us what your trial is about? So I did. And I was flooded with a deluge of responses of people who said, wow, we didn't know. So I thought I'd let you know too. I'm accused of receiving favorable press coverage from a second-rate internet site. In the 250 years of liberal democracy, no one has been accused of receiving favorable press coverage as a crime. That's the so-called bribe. Except when the trial progresses, as it did, it turns out that I didn't get favorable press coverage. I got unfavorable press coverage. I mean, the most hateful, antagonistic, negative press coverage you can imagine in Israel, and that's not an easy thing to achieve. So 2 years ago, the judges called the prosecution in and they say, drop the bribery charge. It doesn't hold. Just let's end this thing. Prosecution refused. Yeah, it's a political trial, and they're not interested in justice. They're interested in getting me out of office. So what's left? Well, they said this when they cross-examined me. They said, Prime Minister, 29 years ago, your son received a Bugs Bunny doll. So help me God, that's what they asked. You received a Bugs Bunny doll. From now on, this trial will be known as the Bugs Bunny trial. And you also received cigars from a friend. That's what I'm being charged with. Now, this is absurd. And of course, this trial is just going on and on and on. 6 years of bogus investigations on these idiotic charges. And the trial now has been going on for 4 years. And it's expected to go on for another 2 to 3 years. I have to go into trial. Let's see, I got to sit down when I tell you this, okay? I have to go 3 times a week, 8 hours per day to discuss this nonsense. Now, it's funny, it's comedic. Yeah, I was a champion debater in my high school, so it's a farce. But this farce is causing the country a lot. There are big things to do. There are peace treaties to get. There's AI and other technologies that are amazing that could change Israel, could change the Middle East, could change the world. That's what we do best in Israel. I can't deal with that. So they asked for a pardon. I asked for a pardon, okay? And we'll see if it comes out. But you wanted to know what this trial is about? This is what this trial is about. Bugs Bunny and cigars. Ridiculous.
Suffering succotash. I don't know if that was a very good version of Bugs Bunny. I don't think so. That's that Daffy Duck. I don't know which one of those guys it was. All said. Okay. There's that. Rwanda and Congo signed historic Washington's Accord at the Trump's Peace Institute. So that's pretty cool. It's a peace agreement they basically signed. Bilateral agreements with Congo and Rwanda that will unlock new opportunities for the United States to access critical minerals and provide economic benefits for everybody, basically keeping these two countries from fighting each other, and we're going to bro you guys out. This is a great idea. You know, it's good for us, good for them. It's a win-win. How do you make these countries that everyone wants to leave better? You go in and you partner with them. I think Trump does. From what everybody that's worked for him, they love him. He's very aware and concerned of both sides of the argument. And he likes people to be happy. Trump's just naturally that way. So again, very powerful, very cool. Pentagon deploys its first kamikaze drone squadron in the Middle East. I assume they just stacked a butt ton of these into, C5 or something and just flew them out there, whatever. Probably even a bunch of those smaller, right, jets, whatever I forget the smaller one. Needless to say, yeah, we got a bunch of these things. And that is going to kind of change the battlefield a lot. This is going to trip out a lot of our enemies. One, because we supposedly borrowed one of their designs and just mass-produced the shit out of it, which is kind of funny, because then ours is probably better, like a lot better, and they're probably cheap to make. And so if we can make thousands of these. I was reading another article that was claiming that China is capable of making hypersonic missiles for $100,000. And they were talking about this like this was a fact. And I'm like, that's just stupid. That's what China's telling you. You have no idea what it actually costs them to make. And there's no way they're able to make a hypersonic missile for $100,000. That's just crap, unless they're having Uyghurs build them. But that's not likely. But ours costs millions. Right, just a regular, the SM block missile that we use, the SM3 or SM8, whatever it is, that missile, it costs like $2.4 million or something weird like that. So significantly more expensive, but these are cheap. They're cheap. Cheap as hell. Got a tiny little bullshit engine on them, pretty good sized piece of explosive. Boom, boom. Load it up with fuel and send it on its way. And I'm sure ours are controlled GPS or whatever, and we can probably alter them on the battlefield, which makes them significantly cooler, right? They're not quite as dumb as some of the others. Hegseth ousted Navy admiral who raised concerns about boat strikes. Yeah, this dude lost his stars. Well, he's been asked to retire. I don't know if he got demoted. They've asked him to step down, and he has. The 4-star Navy admiral overseeing the U.S. military strikes against the boats in the Caribbean to step down. He's been asked by Hegseth after he kept voicing concerns about the murky legality of the attacks. So U.S. Southern Command head Admiral Alvin Holsley will retire 2 years ahead of schedule on December 12th, following months of discord between him and Hegseth. That's what happens. He's gone. By the way, another military strike, in case anybody was hoping they'd stop. Not a chance, fat freckle. Fat chance, fat freckle. That's what my friend's mom used to say to him. He had a lot of freckles. He did. It's not like I guess. He definitely had freckles. He was a freckle-faced fucker. That's what he was. He was a good guy, though. Yeah, so, I don't know. He took out another boat. I like how they go to the different, the 10 meters, 5 meter, whatever the different sizes are. It's pretty cool. Love this stuff. Military's got all the cool toys. They really do. It's a shame, like I said, how much money we spend killing each other, but it got some cool stuff. Zelensky's jet escapes collision with 4 drones near Ireland. They're saying these were military-type drones, and they're being very tight-lipped about them. They were not able to stop them. They flew over the airport. They seemed to have been capable of getting to the president's plane, Ukrainian plane, when it was landing, but there seems to have been some sort of a delay with the president's plane. So these things were kind of loitering and maybe longer than they were intended to. I don't know. Whatever the issue was, they ended up leaving and didn't necessarily mess with Zelensky's plane, but very well could have. So Zelensky may have had a warning, which is what my guess is he had a warning given to him. It would be very easy for us to smoke your plane, buddy. Very easy. We know where you are. So let's do some peace. Now, who this was, don't know. Maybe this was them threatening, you get peace, we're going to kill you anyway. I don't know. It's definitely more something the deep state would do, but I actually think the White Hats are probably trying to put a little fear of God into him. It's very easy for us to accidentally screw up your jet on final. There's nothing you could do about it, buddy. Take one of those things to the engine or something. Or take off. Uh-oh. U.S. puts normalizing relationship with Russia among its core interests right now. We definitely are going to have peace with Russia, and we need to. Russia especially. They're just extraordinarily capable and have been our best and closest allies in history until later on. Certainly their communism didn't help, but yeah. And I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. Russia has lost many people, millions of people in many wars. And they know how to fight. That's what they do. They fight, and then they make babies, and then they fight more. It's why they have vodka, I think. So they're constantly drunk, constantly screwing each other and making babies, always just baby-making machines. Drinking vodka every chance they can, right? All day long. Just making babies. I guess because they keep killing them off, right? You lose millions of people in a war, and you're like, what? No? Really? We lost that many? Huh, yeah, I didn't know this. This is German city, Germany. Again, Europe, you're just I don't know. We're about to lose Europe, I think. Literally, guys. America is saving itself. The rest of the world, I worry about you guys a lot, especially you Europeans. You guys have been so arrogant most of my experience, and now all of a sudden the shoe's on the other foot, if you will. Oh, is that like my thumbnail? Oh, weird. A 29-year-old Afghan migrant has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for stabbing a 27-year-old teacher at random on the street in the middle of the day, However, despite stabbing his victim 4 times in the back and twice in the thigh, the fact that the Afghan stopped stabbing her once she screamed was enough to convince the court in Stuttgart to drop the attempted murder charge. Because he stopped stabbing her after 6 stabbings because she screamed? So, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that attempted murder charge. Because you're an immigrant from Afghanistan. Germany. I'm telling you guys, there's certain coincidences that seem to happen, This was just an interesting story. It puts in perspective. First off, I think the headline is extraordinarily misleading. Pelosi and Green retirements thrust $38 million a year pension perk for Congress into spotlight. Right? You see that headline like me, I hope, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just the only stupid one here. Whatever. I'm like, Pelosi and Green are going to get friggin' $38 million between the two of them? Are you shitting me? Yeah, totally. shitting me. That's not even close to true. That's all of the retired people in Congress. I think all of the people currently retired that were from Congress, that have made retirement, that are still alive, it costs about $38 million per year. Not saying that's good, just saying, yeah, it's not nearly. So when I dug into the story a little bit, Marjorie Taylor Greene's retirement, which I'm glad she's getting the F out, but whatever. She's going to start collecting $8,700 a year for her pension. $8,700 a year. $8,717, if it matters. $100 a year. That's it. $8,717 a year. That's her retirement. So I instantly made me be like, all right, she's not really getting perked out too hard. She barely is in long enough. You have to be there 5 years to get it. So she's literally 2 days over. So she's probably just wanted to make sure she at least got $8,700 a year. That's such a small amount of money. Now, Nancy Pelosi, they're saying, will get about $107,860 per year. That's actually a decent chunk of money, but not enough to be able to live in California. Now, granted, she's a huge super millionaire because of all the stock trading that she's done and just made gobs and gobs of money. So, all right, she's never going to have to want for the remainder of her short life. There's no way. With that giant cancer thing right on the front of her, whatever that is. Nancy, what is that? Oh, my gosh. And, guys, you look horrible. Anyway, she's like 107, so she's only going to live about 14 seconds after retiring once they finally unplug her AI. Kind of meant to be funny, but sort of almost probably closer to the reality. So anyway, that just puts some perspective on it. Like I said, the headline was very mischievous, I felt. Interesting deal here. Netflix, they signed their Obama deal in 2018, and they put Susan Rice on the board. Now, first off, hardly anyone went and saw that. It crapped. Netflix has had issues. I think they also came out with the Cuties or whatever that was. That was when I quit them. And then they did a second shit show recently that I think a bunch more people left. But Netflix is still doing really well, apparently. Anyway, they signed the Obama deal 2018. Susan Rice, she got on the board. Then Rice went to the Biden administration. In 2023, Susan Rice rejoined the Netflix board. 2024, Netflix signed a massive expansion of the Obama deal. And 2025, there is a proposal by Netflix to buy Warner Brothers. Now, everybody in the entertainment industry hates this idea. Makes me wonder. Now, I don't think Netflix is a good company. I think they do horrible stuff. And having Susan Rice and all those people. So I feel like Netflix is kind of where a lot of the deep state has gone when it comes to the movie making stuff and controlling the messaging and all that. So think about the power they still have. This is their world, right? And they're going to get Warner Brothers also. I don't know, I thought they had a list in here of the companies that basically fall into that. They didn't on this. It was a different article I was looking at. But this says like HBO and a whole bunch of, this is a crazy number of stuff inside this deal. And they get studios and all sorts of crazy shit. So this is interesting. I don't know if this is going to be allowed to go through. I didn't see any arguments made in any of the stuff I've come across thus far to say why it shouldn't. I know that Paramount Skydance was looking at purchasing Warner Brothers, and more people liked that idea because it kind of kept it all in the family. This Netflix is not in the family, I don't think, but who knows. Donald Trump truthed this out. I was going to ignore this story, but then I was like, So he's finally approved these tiny cars. He makes it sound awesome. But tiny cars manufactured in America, these are really, really small cars. And he said you can do gas, you can do hybrid, you can do battery. They're just small. They didn't want to make them legal because they're so small that, God forbid, you get hit by a Mack truck, you're toast. There would be nothing left of your vehicle. But all said, it's not necessarily a reason not to have these. So he's okaying them. They're going to be inexpensive and really probably very efficient. And for people that are just tooling around local, I was thinking about it. I'm like, I would almost consider getting one of these, just to take my girlfriend home so I don't have to drive my car I like. I don't have to keep putting miles on it, just driving her home and back. It's like, it's stupid. She doesn't live with me. That's just for any of you guys who are like, huh? Why you drive her home? Because she doesn't live with me. And that's okay. I don't mind that. It's good that way. all set, guys. We've got a lot going on. I got a fun music show, rock from the 80s. Pretty good. I don't want to oversell it on the heavy metal. It just had some cool stuff in it that was sort of along those lines, but it's just rock. I got a lot of good stuff in there. Poison's the song I used for the thumbnail. Very, very bitchin' song, of course, and brings back a lot of memories for many of us. So hopefully you'll join us 3 p.m. Pacific time. Of course, Friday. We do it every Friday. If you want to join, got some really cool people in chat that I think you will enjoy. So all said, yeah, great music show. And last week we did like a Thanksgiving and love song kind of thing. It was actually really cool. I've actually listened to that one a couple times since. And just some really good songs in there. Some really beautiful stuff. And I enjoy it. It's just one of my favorite things during the week to do is to pull the music and then recording the music. I could do it quicker. There's ways I could do it more efficiently, but I don't. I love the process. The process is why I do it, literally. And then I just share it. I've said before, my dad used to bring out a box of records that he had. And he'd just bring the box of records and he'd set it down and then he'd start just playing stuff. And it was cool. And we'd just hear all sorts of cool music. And my dad just got to enjoy playing music for us. And we'd sit there and listen to it. And we didn't actually have the TV on. Sometimes we'd have like the fireplace going maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Just good memories for me. So kind of what I'm trying to share or bring to the table with you guys. All said, enjoy it. And you can always listen to it later. It's okay. But the live stuff's fun. We got a really good group of people that are in there. I love you guys. We're going to keep fighting the fight. And we've got some stuff coming. Cash Patel making noise the way they are right now. So get ready. Waters are going to start to move soon. And I think we're going to notice something strange. Be prepared. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.